might be all right. We are discussing, there you go. Great rise, beloveds. Great rise. Y'all hold on. You know who it is. It's your girl, Queen Goddess, the King Advocate. I've had some technical difficulties with you, so I'm 4 minutes behind, but that's why. But I'm glad you're here. So again, we are going to be discussing his MLK Junior Day, and I want to talk about some things and ask some questions, bring some things to your mind, and hopefully spark you all to think and have some questions or some comments. Share your concerns or experiences, whatever fits at the time. So I wanted to discuss it as a question. We shall overcome. We hear, a lot of talk in churches. Let's do it that way. A lot of songs. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. All of that. A lot of talk how people will mention what has transpired in history, who all did what for, particular point in our history, how far we've come. Black president in the United States, that's not the case either. But anyway, moving forward, certain rights that have been given to different the women, or to Black people, whatever, different rights that have been granted, the freedoms that have been issued, all these things. Okay, we talk about all that. We're taught these things, and when it comes down to discussing Martin Luther King Jr. and everything that he has done, and this is not a bash at all on Martin Luther King Jr. or any of our leaders. It's just a question. When people speak about movement, when they speak about civil rights and protesting and trying to cause some type of change and whatever, it always sounds good to the people who are listening. It sounds good. It sounds powerful. It sounds motivating, inspiring to the people who are listening. But it's not really taken into consideration what's actually being done, or what actually has to be done in order for these things to take place. It's not just about having the conversation of what we're going to do, what needs to be done. It's actually having the gall and the faith and the strength, tenacity, all that, to take the steps necessary to do what needs to be done in order to achieve what needs to be achieved. And again, I said we hear about it. It sounds good. We shall overcome. We're going to get what we deserve. We're going to rise to a higher level. We're going to, whatever it is, we're going to do. All that sounds great. It sounds motivating and inspiring. But my question is this: we shall overcome what? We keep repeating it. We hear it all throughout history, all throughout the year, especially on this particular day. We shall overcome. But what is it that we shall overcome? And after almost 50 years, minimally, why have we not yet overcome it? How long does it take to overcome it? Whatever the it is, how do we overcome it? The first question is, what is the it that we have overcome? And I'll wait for an answer. I'll wait. As a friend of mine says, I'll wait. That's the one thing that we don't ask ourselves. That's the one thing that we really don't have an answer to, especially when you're looking at what history has shown us that it was involved in, and then looking at what's happening right now. What has changed? Like, we look at slavery. Let's deal with that. We look at slavery and say, oh, well, we've overcome slavery. We're no longer slaves. We're all free and we can do whatever we want to do. Because the way that we're taught how slavery looks is that men and women are shackled physically in chains. They're not given any rights. That they, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have a visual of what slavery looks like. So looking at it today, it doesn't look the same. So we're saying, oh, well, we've overcome. The question is, Rochelle, is what is it that we have overcome? Today being Martin Luther King Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, the ongoing thought, saying, whatever, is we shall overcome. So the question is, what is it? What is it that we shall overcome? That's one part of the question. The other part is, why is it taking so long to do so? Why have we not yet overcome it? So in dealing with the slavery, I'm just giving a different scenario of how things look. So we're like I said, we're taught how slavery looked. So based on how things look now, there's this belief that we have overcome slavery because nobody is physically bound. Nobody is being whipped. We don't on a regular basis see people hanging from trees. We're not, having to go fight and run away from massa. These things are not happening. But the only thing that really changed was how slavery looked. Let me correct that. How it looks. You no longer are physically bound to a massa. You're no longer being physically lynched necessarily. You're no longer being exchanged on plantations necessarily, because now you have the right to choose all of them. You have a right to choose your master. You have a right to choose what plantation you're going to be on. You can even enjoy what your surroundings look like, because they're going to let you outside so you can enjoy your plantation. They're going to teach you how to deal with the crops on the plantation. But it looks differently because now you're getting paid physical monies, if you will. Physical energies are being handed to you, so it looks differently. But did we actually overcome slavery? Let me read these remarks real quick. We got them in real quick. That's what I like. Is that we're no longer physical slaves. We are still mental slaves. Yes, ma'am. At least in physical slavery, we knew who our open enemy is. Absolutely. Because we're scared, we don't understand that we have to fight. Yes, ma'am, the fight is mental and physical. Fraser Beat says we have to overcome hatred among brothers and sisters. The new chains and shackles is religion. We haven't overcome anything collectively. They still have black slaves and lynching from cops. Facts. Let me turn you back around. Rochelle says, we're scared. We know the KKK is in the justice system. We know they still exist, but only once a few is willing to fight and make that change. Only a few are willing to fight and make that change. Absolutely. Absolutely. Scared. So based on that, what is it that we overcame? You know what I'm saying? We were scared back then, 40, 50, 60 plus years ago. We were scared back then. But the one thing that I can say is that the scared then didn't prevent no movement from happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were still scared and provoked at the same time. Now we scared and passive. We ain't doing shit. Now scared and sitting back, hoping, wishing, praying, Lord, whatever, waiting on the Savior to come down, whatever, and or get us caught up in the rapture. You know what I'm saying? Stop it. Like, that part, that ain't happening. That ain't happening like that. Like, we are equipped to do what we need to do, but we ain't doing it again because of the fear. The fear has caused us to be stagnant. So we're not doing anything. So again, the question is, what is it that we've overcome? If you still have the same mentality of, the slave, you still have the same mentality of the ones who were scared, but they were doing something, but now you have the same mentality and are doing absolutely nothing. What is it that we've overcome? Sis says, I'm not personally I'm not personally, but because the masses of my people are scared, right? We haven't overcome nothing. Absolutely. So for us to be saying at this point, we shall overcome, what is that? Is that a lie? Is that another trick used to keep us passive, to keep us in the same mind frame that we won't do anything but to sit back and hope? We're not going to fight because we're going to hold on to the hope that we shall overcome. Who said that anyway? How do you overcome when you don't even know what it is that's preventing you from coming over? You don't know what it is. You don't know how to do it. Period. How does this happen? What are we overcoming? Sis says the enemy has desensitized us by allowing us to have money, good homes, good neighborhoods, and we're not building nothing for ourselves. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is a problem. This is why we're not overcoming, because we have succumbed to the mentality of the oppressor. We have allowed ourselves to take on the mentality of the oppressor. So not only are they oppressing, we are also oppressing and staying that way, and becoming okay with being oppressed, becoming okay with having your neck stepped on, becoming okay with not being able to move. Come on, this is not okay. This is not okay. This is not how you overcome. You don't overcome by turning the other cheek and allowing somebody to slap shit out your face both ways. This is not the way you overcome. You don't overcome by sitting back watching shit happens and hoping and praying that it just changes. That's not how you overcome. And I'm gonna say this, and people may not know, and it might just even be my own thought. It may not be fact, but I'm just looking at how things lined up historically. When you dealt with MLK and you dealt with Malcolm X, of course they had two different ways, two different methods on how to overcome. Okay, um, it's my understanding that Martin Luther King Jr., of course, he had good intent. You know, his belief, his thoughts were do the opposite of what your enemy is doing. And I guess that was supposed to create some type of love and understanding, whatever. Eventually, they're going to stop beating your ass. Eventually, they're going to give you some rights and freedom. Eventually, that's going to happen, but you got to fight it with love. Okay, that's not how that worked. And the teachings, of being passive, of nonviolent resistance, that's the phrase. The teachings of nonviolent resistance is what caused the mentality of the people who were being oppressed to stay that way. You can't tell or put a soldier in war and tell him, don't fight. Don't fight. You're at war. They're coming for you. They're going to take you out. But don't fight. Don't even take your weapons. Just show up, but don't fight. I'm sorry, but to me, that doesn't make sense. The logic don't fit in that. And again, it's just my thought that perhaps when Dr. King realized what was happening to the people from listening to that message, from processing that message, from processing that information, that the people were becoming more and more submissive to oppression. They were becoming more and more passive, and more people were losing their lives because they were not fighting back. That he changed his mind and said, hold up, I might have to have a conversation with Brother X. We might have to get some real understanding. I might have to change my thought on some shit. You know what I'm saying? This right here, it sounded good. It was inspiring. People felt good. See, we're talking about the feelings. People felt good, but they dying out here. They felt good, but they ain't doing shit. They felt good, but nothing's changing. On the other hand, Brother X said, "Oh, no. What they doing, we finna do that too. They coming at us in war. You gotta fight war. with war. It's not about being silent. It's not about sitting back watching. It's not about turning your back or turning your cheek so you get slapped on both sides, or turning your back so you get stabbed and shot in it. It's not about that. It's about defending yourself, defending your people. You're saying MLK not only met with Malcolm X. Oh, no doubt. No doubt. But something didn't click. So, and again, it's just my thought. Just my thought. I could be wrong. That perhaps Dr. King, like I said, realized that that philosophy was not beneficial to his people. Something else had to happen. Something different had to take place. The mind frame of the people had to be changed. It had to be awakened. It had to be what I tell you I do. I ain't got to tell you. It had to be provoked, because as long as you made the people feel good, as long as the words pacified the people's mind, it pacified their behavior. It caused them to do nothing but sit back and listen or hear the words. It didn't cause any movement because they weren't provoked to change. There's a difference. What did we overcome? What did we overcome? Perhaps, just my thought, when he realized this, he began to change some things. He began to change how he spoke to the people. He began to change his message and say, you know what, maybe we need to do a little something different. We need to do a little something different, you know, and that might be what took him out. That might be, there you go. That might be what changed the whole face of history. Okay. But we shall overcome remained the thought, the philosophy of the people. Again, it didn't cause any movement. This is why I always emphasize the importance of fuck your feelings. Okay? Because your feelings change based on the circumstances. I am not here to make you feel good. I am not here to inspire you. I'm not here to inspire you. I don't want you to feel good. This is what happens in churches. And I'm not going to have a religious conversation, okay? But this is what has happened in churches. The preacher gets up, he stands up, he's saying all kinds of stuff. The music is playing, he's shouting, jumping around, giving you a message that you missed completely because you feeling good based on the music or whatever. Missed the whole message. You felt good. You get out of church, or you done gave up all your dough, whatever. You felt good is the point. But nothing happened afterwards. So you went in there, you might have been down or just anxious to hear what the word was going to be. You felt good while the word was being given, and you walked out doing the same shit you was doing before you went in there. So nothing changed. You felt good for the moment because your feelings got pampered. I ain't on that shit. All right. Know that right now. I ain't on it. Let me see what else we got here. So MLK said the thought of building our own and grabbing a hold of the land materials for our own homes and building for yourself. So he met with Elijah Muhammad. Facts. Okay. That's what's up. So what I'm saying, there was some validity to that. There was validity. Thank you for that information, sis. I appreciate you. So again, the question is, what have we overcome? What is it? We're still in the same situation. We're still dealing with the same type of shit. It just looks differently. Again, we're talking about the police brutality. Same shit. They're not hanging you from trees. They're just shooting you with the guns now. Same shit. Same shit. We fought for the right to vote. Okay, now you voting for the people that you want in the office. Either one, they ain't getting in there, or two, they ain't doing what you want them to do. What we overcome. Even learning how to vote. When you vote, and I just learned this, okay? Well, let me say, it got brought back to my memory. But the three branches of the system when you're voting, I can't name them all, but judicial, executive, and legislative, I think those are the branches. When people go out to vote, they're voting for the executive, which is the president, but forgetting about the legislative and everything else, which controls that in the first place. So even learning how to vote is an issue. So what have we overcome? You want the right to do it, but you don't know how to do it. What you overcome? Same shit. You got people in office that ain't working for your good. What have you overcome? It's still shit that you can't do. It's still stuff that why are we even having this conversation today? Just the fact that we're having this conversation lets us know we have not overcome, because we're still here. We're still doing this. We're still having the same thoughts. We're still having the same experiences, or they're amplifying. They're getting worse now. So what have we really overcome? I'll wait. Y'all like my hair? Because I'm waiting. I'm waiting. What have we overcome? So let's just say we've realized what it was that we had overcome, that we realized this is what we've overcome. Let's just say, how did we do that? Or how do we continue to do that? It will still bring us back to the same question. What did we do? I know, right? They real quiet over here on YouTube. They ain't got nothing to say. Right. Yeah, folks, quiet tonight. I expected it. I expected that. But I'm glad that you're here and speaking with me, sis. Appreciate you, loved one. I might have a guest call tonight. It might help to have the phone on. That's usually helpful. But nonetheless, even if it don't happen, I'm not tripping. This might not be one of those all night. The full hour for the show, and I'm good with that. I just want to put the question out. I want to provoke some thought. You know what I'm saying? We can't keep just going off of, the phrases that sound good to us because we're used to hearing them. They mean nothing when you're doing nothing about them. Fraser says a lot of us walk away from religion. That's a start. Or said walking away. Right. Absolutely. So based on that, that's not an overcoming. Being stuck in that, I'm saying, is not an overcoming. But yeah, when you get to the point you realize that is a controlling system as well, then yeah, that's definitely a way to move forward into overcoming. Absolutely. But you still have people who don't believe in, or who have not acknowledged, let me rephrase, who have not acknowledged Willie Lynch. They have not acknowledged the facts behind it because they're looking for, well, who wrote the book? Well, this couldn't have happened. Well, the person who wrote the book was black, blah, 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 blah. All that don't matter. What matters is the information that is provided in this book is evident. It's evident. What is written is evident. So it can't matter who wrote it, if it's real or not. It's clear that it works. Okay. People don't want to acknowledge fact. They don't want to acknowledge truth. They don't want to acknowledge self. And that is why we cannot overcome, because the biggest enemy is the inner me. That is the biggest enemy, is the inner me. If you don't deal with that, if you don't acknowledge the fact that you are your biggest enemy first, We Shall Overcome will just be a pretty song that will continue to be sung throughout history and mean absolutely shit. Personally, I don't sing it. I know better. But again, that question remains. There's no answer. What have we overcome? Nothing. Nothing. Like, nobody can give me an answer. Perhaps I'll get an answer when this goes off. People will think about it a little while, and post it. But right now, I don't see anything that we've overcome. We have basically increased on everything that we said we didn't like in the first place. Everything that was a hindrance or some type of bondage has increased. It just looks differently. So now it's welcomed in because now there's a monetary benefit to receiving the injustice. Whereas before, there was nothing. You just going to take this ass whipping and that's it. You're going to take this injustice and that's it. So now you can volunteer for the type of injustice you're going to receive. Now you can volunteer for the type of ass whipping you're going to take. You can volunteer for the plantation that you're going to work on. You can volunteer and decide which massa you going to fuck around with. Oh, did I say that out loud? I did. You can decide that on your own. You can make that decision. So that part changed, but we still haven't overcome anything. We still haven't overcome anything. We're still being looked at as the lowest people on earth. We still can't get along with the people that are in our households. We still can't keep the mother and father together in the household to raise the children. We're still not doing that. We still can't keep or get a brother to help another brother out without there being some type of negative stigma attached to him. We can't do that. We still have women who can't disagree with other women without being disrespectful. We're still doing that. It's a lot that's still happening. It's still happening. We still can't get out of the mindset that when something has happened in our city that we don't like, when an injustice has happened, that black folks don't go into their own neighborhoods and burn up their own shit, go rob their own stores. That's still happening. What have we overcome? That's still happening. Silence there is. I can tell this will not be an all-nighter because y'all ain't got nothing. Y'all can't. We ain't talking. We ain't talking because there's no answer. There's no answer to this question. This is a problem that doesn't have an answer, or there is an answer, but nobody wants to acknowledge the answer because, again, the answer starts with self. I am the answer to this problem. I am the answer to this problem is what everybody has to say. Everybody has to be in that mind, in that spirit, that I am the answer to this problem. But if everybody will sit back and wait on somebody else to do it, it will never get done. Because again, that fear will sneak right back in. Well, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to be a part of history where they reading about me on how I died a martyr trying to save some folks that didn't do shit. What would MLK say now? If his spirit could speak, if he could open his mouth and say anything right now, watching what's happening after his dream, and he realized that this was a nightmare, what would he say? Sis says it's still happening because, sad to say, we as a people are really living up to the name nigga. Facts. Shiftless people. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because we've accepted that. You know what I'm saying? We've accepted that anything that we accept, that we tolerate, have we not had this conversation? Anything that you tolerate does not change. So as a people, we have learned to tolerate every injustice. We have learned to tolerate oppression. We have learned to tolerate lack. We have learned to tolerate everything beneath us. We've tolerated it. So now we've accepted it because we keep hearing it over and over and over again. We keep seeing it over and over and over again. So now as a people, as a collective, the brain has received the information and processed it as truth. So now the mind responds accordingly. The body reacts accordingly, because the information is constantly being fed into the subconscious till it becomes a conscious thought. It becomes your thought now. Now it belongs to you because you have accepted it back there. You keep going back there to get it. You keep claiming it. You keep claiming it. So now that thought is conscious. Now it's yours. You own that. So now to have a nigger mentality, that's yours. You earned that. You looked for that. You wanted that. To have a slave mentality, you wanted that. You looked for that. You accepted that. This is why we have not overcome. Because we don't even know what it is we need to come over. Let me see what we got up here. So now you have brought it to our attention. We are going to make a change. I certainly hope so, beloved. The change starts with pooling our resources together and making our own community. Right? Absolutely. 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 We are really the most resourceful and rich people, period. But that mindset has caused us to be poverty-stricken, poor, underclassed, undereducated, underrespected, underappreciated, underprotected, all of that. How we think, what we have allowed ourselves to accept, what we have allowed ourselves to stay tolerant of. It's not going to change if you don't change it. A child will continue to do disruptive behavior if you don't correct it. Most High chastises those that he loves. Anytime his people do something out of line, there's a whipping occurring some kind of way. But instead of looking at that whooping like, oh, damn, that hurt, I ain't gonna do that no more. Let me correct my ways. Let me change what I do. We keep on doing it or try to find a slick way to do the same shit a different way. You're gonna get the same result. You're gonna get your ass whooped until you change your mind. Change the way you think. Change what you accept. Change what it is that you look at, what you see in the mirror. Change that. Your reflection should reflect change. It should reflect truth. But most of ours does not. It reflects what we're taught. It reflects what we're conditioned to accept as truth. It reflects that. It does not reflect who we are because we don't know. We want to be told who we are. We want to be told that we shall overcome because as long as we keep hearing that, there's hope. There's hope. Hope leaves room for doubt. Know something for a fact. Know for a fact that which you know for a fact shall be. Always. What is a fact will always be. Again, I ask, we shall overcome. What? Why have we not yet overcome it? What does it take to overcome it? You have to acknowledge what the it is. You have to acknowledge the process of overcoming the it. You have to acknowledge that you are the tool to overcome it. You are the tool. You are necessary in the overcoming of the it. Until that happens, we will not overcome. Until that happens, we shall not overcome someday. And then even in saying that, let's just listen to that. We shall overcome someday. I'm looking at this calendar. This calendar says Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Now, unless I got a wrong calendar, I don't see someday on there. I've never seen someday on a calendar. So to say we shall overcome someday and someday don't exist, I might have said something right there. Someday does not exist. So when shall we overcome? I'm just saying. So today we have to overcome health issues, gayism, educational. What? It's a whole lot, sis. Absolutely. It's a whole lot. A lot. Today. Okay? Not someday. Today. This day. Melanated Monday. This day. Yeah, we shall overcome someday. That whole thing is just empty hope. That's empty hope. There's no direction in that. There's no specifics in that. There's no instruction in that. Nothing. That's to make you feel good. Again, pay attention. That makes you feel good. We shall overcome until you get asked the question. Overcome what? How do you overcome? Until that reality strikes. You just feel good for the moment. Until that feeling changes and you have to now do something about it. You got to figure some shit out now. I don't feel the same. So now I don't feel good anymore. I'm not inspired. I'm not happy right now. My ego hasn't been struck. So now what do I do? I can't move. I can't operate off of my feelings. I can't make a judgment call based on how I feel because my feelings changed. So now what do I do? Oh, now I'm scared. Now I'm scared. Now I'm frozen. I'm stuck now. Because fear does nothing. It doesn't cause anything to happen to a people with a passive, hopeful mind state. It causes a person to stay frozen, waiting, hoping somebody, something on some day will come by and thaw you out. Somebody, someday, shall come by and thaw you out. Hold your breath on that one. Wait for someday. Wait for it. Wait for someday to come. I'm just saying. If I'm wrong, like I tell you all the time, if I'm wrong, correct me. If it's something that I need to speak on, let me know. Tell me. I have no problem being corrected. But I tell you what's put in my spirit. I tell you based on the wisdom that's given to me. I tell you based on experience. I tell you based on what I'm looking at on a daily. I understand what I'm looking at. What I'm listening to. I get it. That's why I'm here. If you want to overcome, ask questions. What is it that we need to overcome? What is it? Why are you? Why am I not participating in the process of overcoming this it? How can I contribute my energies to overcoming this? How can I do that? But this is what happens. How can I overcome for myself only? That's what happens. Now the mindset has gone into crabs in a bucket. Now nobody want to help anybody else overcome. Now it's crabs in a bucket. Start asking some questions. Start being real with yourself. Stop lying. Stop lying to yourself. We shall overcome needs to be we overcame, because we realized what it was. We overcame is what it should be saying. We overcame, not we shall. Someday. That's never coming. Do you all have any questions, comments, or concerns that you would like to share? I'm not going to keep you all. I just want to get that off my chest, being this is MLK Junior Day. People are celebrating. I don't even know how do you celebrate this day? How? You know, people have gone to the museums and whatever, listen to other people talk. I guess that's how you celebrate it. Overcome by doing something about it. His dream has become a nightmare. A daily nightmare. Historical nightmare. Do something about it. That's all I'm saying. Get out your damn feelings and do something about some shit. Do something about something today. This day. Do something about something. I'm not going to keep y'all. I'm ready to go to sleep. Rest. I do appreciate you all for being here. You know, I always do. Well, you know, according to the calendar that they're celebrating it today. Yeah. Girl, you know I know. But they're celebrating it today. Right. I know it was last week. Cecil says, we as a people have to return back to the Most High. Absolutely. See, are still too stiff-necked to listen. I guess our people, word was missing. Our people are still too stiff-necked to listen. For our people, truths are lies and lies are truths. Right. The Jews, created the whole civil rights movement. Movement nonsense because they wanted and needed. Let me go back. They wanted and needed the black dollars. They tricked black people into believing that they were actually missing something when black people already had their own. Dr. King was just a puppet pushing their agenda until he woke up and then they killed him. And I heard something like that. That's okay. All right. It has been said. It has been said, right? Like once he realized what it was, some changes were made, and adversary don't like changes because that change was going to cause a different kind of movement. Sis says we better return to the Most High while we still on earth. Facts. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there are some people, or a lot of people right now that are going through a shift, a spiritual shift. They're actually looking for that. So, I mean, that's a good sign, but, you know, the masses probably are not. So I don't know, you know, I don't know. What I do know is we shall overcome shouldn't be a question. It shouldn't be anything we talking about still in this day. Well, it ain't really, not yet 2020, for real. But we should not still be having this conversation in this day. We shouldn't be having this conversation at all. It shouldn't be a thought at all. But we are, which means we haven't overcome a damn thing. And I know some people are going to watch this, probably have an attitude. It's all good. But if your attitude is not provoking you to make change, it don't matter. You was just in your feelings for the moment. And you know how I feel about feelings. You said the Jewish elite give him the Nobel Peace Prize. Oh, the Nobel Peace Prize. Oh, for real? See? History right there. That's what I'm saying. We don't even know enough. We don't have enough conversation, enough education to even know what you're saying, to even know what the real problem is. Like the stuff that is being presented or has been presented in our faces in history, and even still, these things that we see right now are not the problem. These are not the problem. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're being forced to focus on as the problem. What we're looking at are the distractions to the problems. But I could be wrong. Okay, I'm trying to help y'all get off. But we can continue if you like. I just don't want to. I'm not trying to hold you hostage. I know that my words, my thoughts are about to be cut, and I don't want to just be here for the sake of being here. So I hope that I have provided you with some spiritual, educational nourishment, something that you can take with you and process continuously, something that will provoke you to move. Again, it is not ever my intention to make you feel good, to inspire you, to motivate you. It's never my intention to do that. It's always my intention and my purpose to provoke you. That's what I do. I want to provoke you. All right. So if I have done that, I've done my job. If you feel good, we're going to do something else. So if I have provoked you, all praises to the Most High. All right, loved ones, I'm going to get off of here. I appreciate you all for being here. Charles Hines, thank you, beloved, for being here. I do appreciate you. I do. Hopefully you'll get a chance to play this back, though, and watch the whole show. But I appreciate you all for being here. You all be safe wherever you're at. If it's cold, I hope you stay warm, get warm. I know it's a little chilly here, but stay warm, be safe. And as always, I love you on purpose, with purpose. And I will see you next time. Till then, back to light. Peace.